it. So make sure you're lively, make sure you're looking good, get your makeup on, because it's going to be used in a BNI training. So Scott, go ahead and start that. Yeah, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to come to speak with you today. We're going to try to, today, the takeaway I want you guys to learn today as a BNI member is we're going to share with you a system that BNI started several years ago, but they fine-tuned it, fine-tuned it, and fine-tuned it over the years, and that's our visitor follow-up system. It's designed to give the visitors the best experience they can have about BNI, but also help us as a chapter grow our chapters as far as a business, which is that's what each BNI chapter is, by the way, is a business. Let's speak about businesses. I've given each one of you a handout also, if you want to follow along with that in the handout as we go through the presentation today. As a business, and most of you are in business or work for a business, there's two main questions that each individual business owner should be asking themselves, and specifically when they get into businesses. Number one, what is the product or service we are selling? You need to figure that out. What is it that I'm selling or providing as far as the product or service? In BNI, obviously the product or service that we are selling is growing our business through word-of-mouth networking. That's what the product is that we're selling to our members and also the visitors that are here. Is we want to teach you how to build your business through word-of-mouth networking. The second question a businessman or woman needs to ask is, who are we selling it to? Who is our people that we're selling it to, or our system that we're selling it to? Who are we selling our product to or service? In BNI, of course, there's two people, two main folks that we're selling our product to in BNI, and that is our members. We want to give the members a great experience as far as in BNI to help them build their network and their business and their money, hopefully. And secondly, we're selling to visitors. Two people that we're selling to. Successful businesses are built on systems. How many of you, Dan got a great opportunity, I appreciate you sharing some of Dr. Meisner's book. And reading is a good thing. I know I have struggled times myself as far as getting into books because I just find that I'm too tired by the end of the night to get into the book. But that's something that's important. But I had an opportunity to read a book called E-Myth. How many of you have ever heard of the book E-Myth? It's a great book if you're an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur. It's a great book that teaches you about a myth that is out there that you might be great in your position that you are in as far as an employee. And you think, man, I'm so good, I can do this on my own. And many times the myth is, you might not be a good entrepreneur, you might be a good worker. Because being an entrepreneur or someone that owns their own business, there's a lot more to do than just pushing buttons or adding this or doing something that whatever it is that you do. You got to do marketing, you got to build systems and all that stuff, so there's a lot more about it. E-Myth's a great book, I recommend you get it. But one of the things that they mentioned in E-Myth that I want to pull out, and this is a true fact, is the businesses that are successful are franchise businesses. Now, I'm not saying that independent businesses can't be successful either, but the statistics are showing this, that franchise businesses, after 4 years, 75% of the franchise businesses are still in business after 4 years. When you look at independent businesses, those that are not associated with a franchise, only 35% of those are still in business after 4 years. So you say, well, what gives the franchise business such a great advantage over independent business? What is that advantage?
They have a model system.
Yeah, a model and systems. Systems are the biggest things that give the franchise business that much advantage over the independent person, because the independent business has to create their own systems as they go. They have to create the systems, but in a franchise business, the system's already there. Question I need to ask also, let me give you some examples, first of all, also of franchises. Some of the franchises that most of us are familiar with are McDonald's. Think about McDonald's. Anywhere you go, and they're all over the world. Now, I haven't been to a McDonald's outside the United States, but I've hit quite a few McDonald's in the United States. And I've got to say that almost every single McDonald's I'm going to, if I order a French fry, it's the same French fry no matter where I go. So that's a cool thing. When you go to Starbucks, there are now thousands of Starbucks everywhere. Now, it's kind of, in my opinion, hard to mess up a cup of coffee, but the bottom line is when you go into a Starbucks, you know it's going to be the same no matter what Starbucks you go to. Of course, the big one now, Subway, you know, the footlong, and again, kind of hard to mess up a sandwich in my opinion, but again, when you go to Subway and you order, you know, their Italian special, you're going to get their Italian special. It's going to be the same wherever you go. B&I, by the way, is a franchise. Myself as a director, here is just volume 1. As you can see, it says on the book, volume 1 of our director manual. I have 3 of these in my office, okay? It's a system, though, laid out by B&I, given to all directors all over the world on how to do what I'm supposed to do. It's in a system. I don't have to rewrite it. It's all right here. And that's what makes B&I so successful, is they are a franchise and they have systems put in place. Now, I'm not saying their systems are perfect. They always tweak their systems to make them better and better. And that's why, as far as questions I'm going to ask the group today is, can a franchise business fail?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's an obvious question, but when you think about it, though, how many of them do you see, especially McDonald's, how many McDonald's do you see fail? Hardly any. Hardly any, okay? The next question I want to ask, though, is what is the primary cause of their failure?
Not following.
They don't follow the system.
Yeah, that manual I just showed you right there, they never read it. When you become a franchise owner of a McDonald's, as an example, you have to actually go to a school. They give you a whole bunch of those manuals on how to make a French fry, how to make a hamburger. All that stuff is written down in a manual for the owner of a McDonald's franchise. So he can teach his employees or her employees as they come how to make a hamburger. It's all written in the manual. But those people that don't make it is because they're not following the system. B&I is a franchise, I mentioned that. There are over 5,500 B&I mini franchises all over the world. And that's, the chapters are all actually an individual franchise. I didn't know if you knew that, but each chapter is an individual franchise within B&I. Why is B&I so successful? Easy for me to say, right? The system. The system is what makes B&I so successful. I showed you as far as the B&I book. It was one of 3 of those books. Again, as a franchise, not only as a region, I mentioned that I am a director in the Central Tennessee area. Our region is made up of northern Tennessee, all of Kentucky, and southern Indiana is one region. There's regions all over the country and all over the world. Within those regions, there's individual chapters. In our region, we have 77 chapters right now in our region. And we're looking to grow that even more as far as this year, and it is growing. B&I has created and implemented systems for every part of their business with a goal to reach 2 primary customers. 2 customers we're looking to attract or reach are, number 1, members. We want to, again, provide a great member experience for our members. And number 2 is our visitors. Today, we're going to look at one of the systems, that B&I has developed to maximize our visitor experience. That system is our visitor host system. And I'm going to ask for some assistance as we do this. And I'm going to ask for our visitor host team that was announced earlier today to come up here with me. And stand right up here in the firing line. I want you guys to come on up here and work with me on this. As they're coming up, let's talk about visitors for a moment. And if the visitor host can just kind of stand right up here, I appreciate that very much. Visitors. And we even have some today, and I appreciate the visitors that were here today.
One's still here.
Yeah, coming. I appreciate that. Visitors. Why are visitors so important? We've talked about this before as I've been here. Number 1, visitors are the lifeblood of a chapter. The bottom line is that if a visitors aren't in a chapter or don't come to a chapter, the chapter will die. It's a proven fact that if visitors don't come, that the chapter will die. So that's how important they are. Not only are they important for the chapter growth, but they also are potential business clients for all of us. So that's another reason why we need visitors here. Look at these interesting statistics that we shared as far as, this is right from our region. The average new member to a B&I chapter in Kentucky, southern Tennessee, or southern Indiana, middle Tennessee region generates over $12,900 of income to the chapter on a yearly basis. Each new member. Here's an interesting stat too, though. 43% of the B&I chapters that we have in our region do not follow up with the potential new members and visitors. 3% of the sales are made on the second contact. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. You've heard that if you're in sales, that it takes multiple contacts to actually close a sale. Most B&I chapters